Yeah, welcome to the show. My name is Siladeja Adebowale. It's the best show in the whole of the universe. It's New Center Sport. Well, all we do is talk about sports from athletics to football to tennis to whatever it is that you can think about. And of course, on the band radio scope on your on our YouTube channel at New Sister. That's the name of the handle. Of course, on our Instagram handle as well, New Sister underscore. I have with me today. I have the whole gang with me. I have half the gang with me today. I have Oroku Kachi, and of course, I have Eddie Bandesa. I'll start with you, Oroku Kachi, to introduce yourself.
Sport fans, as always, a big pleasure and a privilege to be here with you. Happy to have Devo back operating in full capacity as well today. Unfortunately, it's beloved Arsenal. Their win streak ended, even though they haven't lost this season. I'm hoping that by the time we are done with this show, I can comfortably tell you that the gap between first and second place in the Italian Serie A has been cut to just 1 point. Stay tuned for a great one. We have so many things to talk about.
All right, perfect. She.
Yeah, sport fans, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's edition, and what a weekend what a week for Manchester United fans. A win against Spurs and a draw at the bridge. Of course, the only downturn to these results is the behavior of Cristiano Ronaldo against Spurs midweek. I'm sure we're going to say a little bit about that during the show. Welcome, everyone.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Shay, for that wonderful Ronaldo snipers. We're talking about Ronaldo, of course, as the show goes on. That's a non-negotiable at this time of the day. And of course, we'll be discussing the preview of the Champions League as well, what we're looking forward to in the Champions League. But we'll start with the NBA. 0-2 right now for the Lakers. And the coach came coming out to say they need shooters in the team. At this point, I feel it's unreasonable for the coach to come out to say we need shooters in the team when the season has already started. Maybe before the season, we were talking about shooters and whatnot. Everybody wants Russ Westbrook out of Los Angeles. It did not happen over the course of the offseason. Now it's still there, like a stigma running around. Of course, I'm not saying no disrespect to Russ Westbrook. He has done a whole lot for the game. King of triple-double, as they like to call him. But this is not what will push the Lakers forward. Kachi, what do you think about this? For me, I think coming to talk about they needed shooters right now sounds silly to me. It's a silly idea at this point. When you could have done more off-season, maybe get free agents or whatever it is that you needed to do. Not right now. Looks like it's too late for me. Kachi.
Well, it's not too late because the window stays open until the end of November. The trade deadline, I believe it's in November. So they can still do something. What is really happening here is the reluctance of Rob Pelinka to use the remaining draft picks he has and go into the trade market. Simply because he already mortgaged everything in getting AD and LeBron. Right now, the Lakers don't even have a first-round draft pick until I believe the 2026 NBA draft. The few second and third rounders that he has, that the Lakers have, they are reluctant until they are certain, because they know that they probably will get maybe one more good year out of LeBron, and then they will enter rebuild mode. And there's really no point entering the rebuilding mode when you don't have the draft picks to get the talent you need. So that has been the issue. I don't think it's news that the Lakers are not the LeBron is not surrounded by shooters. For those who have listened to our show even before the season started, I mentioned it clearly that the way this current Lakers team is constructed, they are bound to struggle simply because LeBron is not surrounded by youth, he's not surrounded by shooters. Yes, he has a great defensive oriented team around it. Pat Bev can lock you up. I totally agree. AD on his day can give you 3, 4 to 5 blocks per game. That is what he averages, about 5 blocks a game. That's a lockdown perimeter defending. Russell, as we saw in the second game, even though he shot, I think 2 for 11, finished.
Yeah.
Was it 2 for 11 or 1 for 11 or whatever? Because he only had 2 points in the game.
Yeah.
But when he was the primary defender, those teams were shooting less than 20%, which means he has improved on his defensive side of the ball in the midst of his attacking or offensive struggles that we're currently seeing. But this is not the NFL where defense wins you championship. This is the NBA. You need to score points because the average NBA team can give you 120. And the Lakers right now are averaging about 95 points on every 100 possession. It is way below the league average. So it is not news. It is, however, what is news is what the Lakers organization choose to do with this fact. Are they going to give? Because I don't think the Lakers followership and the fans, I'm not a Lakers fan. I am a LeBron fan. So I have followed LeBron from the Cavs to the Heat, back to the Cavs, now with the Lakers. But there are some dyed-in-the-wool LeBron fans, Lakers fans, however, pardon me, who I totally believe will scream blue mother if the Lakers organization wastes another prime LeBron years. Last year was a waste, even though LeBron was showing up, win, lose, or draw for his team. It would be an embarrassment if they waste this year again. That's number one. Number two is who right now wants to come to the current Lakers team the way it is constructed. Shooters like the Damian Lillard of this world, and even other primary shooters who are not. I mean, Brunson chose to go to the Knicks instead of coming to the Lakers when he left the Denver Nuggets, the Dallas Mavericks rather. Players are also reluctant to move because right now the way the Lakers are constructed, they are not an attractive destination for anybody.
Maybe they should have tried that out for Kyrie. While Kyrie had issues with
they really should have. But the issue was what the Nets were asking for. Number one was unreasonable. Number two, the Lakers organization was not willing to pay the luxury tax for a team they were not certain will compete. I mean, you don't want to pay the luxury tax if you're not going to get to the conference finals at the very least. Because something you have to sacrifice that paying that tax because you might get a championship. So there were so many things against the current Lakers team. The organization, Rob Pelinka particularly, has not endeared himself to the fans. But I do not blame him. I think they should come out openly and admit that they are going to enter rebuilding and look to trade off Ross for whatever they can get, look to trade off AD for whatever they can get. And then
I don't know.
I think that's what they should do.
Who wants AD?
No, people will take it.
I know we visited this before, and honestly, who wants to take AD and what are you
AD is still marketable, but it probably won't go alone. It has to be AD and maybe a Kendrick Nunn, AD and somebody else to go for one other person. And then the Lakers should just tell LeBron, Oga, you cannot win a championship here, but you can be a Laker when you break Kareem's record. Is that something to motivate you enough? If it is, then they should call this season a lost season and start their rebuild now, as against thinking they are still in a championship window, because they are not.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Kachi, I'm still going to stay with you on this one. Our top dribbles in the 76ers right now being held by the Bear at a whooping 1,098 dribbles, while all of the other members of the team has just 791 dribbles. That just goes to show you that the bed. Whatever it is I did off season is really working out. How well do you think this will help the 76ers? And people are coming out to throw shades at Doc Rivers. Right now, Doc looks like you are not the guy for this job. We see this team as better that could fight for the championship and the conference final at the very least and get to the playoffs, maybe the semi-final of the playoffs or whatnot. But looks like you are not the guy to take us to the final destination. Your thought on that quickly?
Okay, two things. The two responses to the James Harden question, and ladies and gentlemen and our listeners, James Harden is his long lost brother from another mother. So you should understand why he's biased towards it. But a key thing, credit to the off-season work that James Harden has done. But a bigger credit to Doc Rivers, to Joel Embiid, because what this tells me is that they have given the offensive responsibility to James Harden. The attack is now being driven by James Harden playing point guard, right? That's why he's starting from the backcourt, getting the dribbles. Tyrese Maxey has taken a step back to allow James take over that responsibility. We saw the way he broke the ankles of Jason Tatum, a few other stuff. But it looks like James, the beard, is getting the confidence of the franchise as it currently lies right now. We'll see what that leads to, because everybody is talking about the Lakers starting 0-2. The 76ers are also 0-2 as far as I can remember. Lost their first two games to the Celtics and also to our darling Toronto Raptors. So it's not as if it has turned into wins in the wins column. It's just that the attack is going through James Harden more and more, which I believe is a good thing. To the second part of your question, I still believe that Doc Rivers is the person that can get the best out of this current team. The only challenge I have with Doc Rivers is that he has struggled to close out a series, especially when he's up by 2 games. I think that's really what he needs to learn. Doc Rivers is the only coach in the history of the NBA to have coached 2 teams that lost a playoff series when he was up by 3-1. He did that with the Nets. He also did that with I think it was the Celtics. With the 76ers as well. So maybe he doesn't need to have that luxury of a 2-game cushion. He needs to always have his team playing for their life. He's able to also always get their concentration. But I don't think there is a bigger character right now that can help those egos that we have in that 76ers team. If it was a Phil Jackson, and I know Phil is not coming back from retirement, and even if Phil does, Phil will take the Lakers job. It's just what it is. If it was a Greg Popovich of the Spurs, then I would understand. But as long as it is neither of these two, the next best person I believe can rein in those ego definitely is Doc Rivers. Whoever is saying that is just purely disrespecting Doc Rivers. Right?
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And of course, there was a huge storm on Twitter. People are saying it's the end of an era. People should stop talking about Steph, KD, and LeBron. It's a new era of new boys, of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and of course the Joker. Of course, I'm going to smuggle in Ja Morant into it. Maybe it's not at that level yet, but of course it could be smuggled in as it stands today. Kachi, just in one word, correct or not?
If you remove Ja Morant, then I would say correct. The only problem is that we have a reluctant Giannis Antetokounmpo who is not ready, just based on the virtue of how he was brought up, is not ready to be the face of the league. He is undoubtedly the best player right now in the NBA, but he is not ready let me not say he's not ready. He does not want to be the face of the league. Based on that is the only reason why Giannis is not the face of the league. I think Ja Morant can be, because he's probably the most electrifying talent we are seeing right now plying their trade in the NBA. He's ready for it because there's just a way Americans growing up are wired to think about being the face of the franchises, and how Europeans or the rest of the world are wired to think of
Why
this.
so?
Right now, Nicolas, even though he was a two-time MVP, it doesn't look like he's interested. Luka Doncic is not interested. Yannick is not interested. But call an American, Damian Lillard, right now. If you want to make him the face of the NBA, he will take it simply because of a mindset.
All right.
So I have no problem with whatever they are doing right now.
All right, perfect. So yeah, I'm gonna jump straight to you right now. Tyson Fury looks to be, sounds to me, what it feels to me is like he's bored and he needs someone else to beat. So he's picking up a fight with Derek Chisora. Am I correct, or do you think I'm a little bit over the board?
Not. I think a little bit right. It's quite bored, but he needs to stay active also to retain his belt, and also to wait. On the sidelines for the bigger fights to come. But don't let us forget that Fury Chisora is going to be a trilogy. This is the third bout. They've actually met twice before, in 2011 and also in 2014. That's for the British heavyweight title and also the European heavyweight title. That was just before Fury also defeated Klitschko to win the
linear title.
The linear title in 2015. So this is going to be the third fight. I would say Chisora is actually in the. I think right now he's close to a pensioner. If this fight is actually not like a what's it called, a send forth for Chisora.
For Chisora.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so I believe for Fury is to stay active, and for Chisora is to probably make some money before he finally
draws the curtains. All right, perfect. And that fight is going to be happening December 3rd. We look forward to that. Of course, you can catch that live on your Denzel or your pay-per-view as it might occur. And if you're in Nigeria, probably, or in Africa, I'm pretty sure Super Sports might or will show it. All right, perfect. And to the guy that looks like Khabib, Islam Makhachev, defeated Oliveira through submission, giving him a dose of his own pill. This guy looks so much like Khabib. At the point, I thought they were cousins. Are they cousins, family, or there's any kind of relationship between these two?
Khabib is his mentor, his coach,
Right.
also at the moment. So when you see the similarities, you just understand that is his mentor from the days that Khabib was totally dominant in UFC, and you can see that in Makhachev's moves and the way he actually entered this particular bout. Throughout the bout, even though it lasted I think 2 rounds, 2 minutes, he was dominant. And Oliveira on the other part, Oliveira happened to be the most dangerous UFC fighter. He has the best record when it comes to submission in the entire UFC. in the entire UFC sport. Imagine that. And it was made to submit in just 2 rounds. The fight went on quite well. Oliveira also tried to do some takedowns in the first round, but it seems Makhachev came in with a particular
plan.
with a game plan. You will know that this is actually a perfect protege for Khabib himself, for the great Khabib, and he landed several punches while Oliveira was trying to make the attempt to take down the Makhachev. But at the end of the day, he was able to triumph, and to see someone that is like in boxing, seeing a knockout artist was totally knocked out. So that's actually the similarity. A submission specialist was made to submit just in the second round. It was a fantastic bout, but of course a surprise to the UFC world.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Shay. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be reviewing the Champions League. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.